Hi there. Apparently, I've made a quite some type of mistake. I've just been jabbering on. Been doing these as kind of a block, and I've overstepped or missed my cues or something. And yet, last time I said that it was number 319 out of the way. I made a mistake, and I'm missing an episode. So we got to back up just a little bit. That this is 319. Um, but I intended it to be a four-part piece on socioeconomics, and it won't hurt. Maybe we'll just review some of the 4 points I may have just doubled up. Um, a little housekeeping to let you in on my process. I've got a notebook here on the side that's off screen, and so I'll do 2 episodes per page, and I did 3 episodes per page, and it's one of those things. I know you've been in this where you're like, I know if I do that, it's not wrong, but it might mess some stuff up. Well, I put 3 episodes on a page, and somehow I messed some stuff up, but it's okay. I intended to do 4 episodes on socioeconomics, so that's what we'll do. For some reason, I just overlapped in there because there's 3 on one page. But it's not a problem. This is day number 319. And I want to see, to check in with yourself now, since we seem to have some time on our hands. How is the white mind? What is the thinking of white Americans at this time? That's an important question as we talk about socioeconomic issues and ideas in America, because along with the virus, we're thrown into this economic situation because businesses have closed. Uh, Unemployment numbers are numbers that people have not seen since the Great Depression. Like amazing, like that. You say some things go in cycles, and some cycles you never imagine happening in your lifetime. It's a historical thing that you saw in school books growing up, or however you consume your education. And much is online now, and um, so we're having these Great Depression numbers, and in a short amount of time. You know what I mean? It's not something where we were sustaining some kind of lifestyle for a while, and over course of a few years, things degraded, and then some kind of stimulus, or we had a restart, and a nice smooth line and stuff. But this just went and it spiked, and we're trying to spike it back up, and it's really messed up. I remember it's like I was swimming when I was first learning how to swim, and we were at a lake, me and a friend of mine, and we were swimming. We were swimming great and all of that. But I'm swimming, but as I'm swimming, um every few paddles, I could touch the bottom. It was nice. Yeah, okay. So I calmly swim again. But then we're getting out. We're getting near the line that they put out there. And I went to reach for the bottom, and there was no bottom. And I panicked, almost drowned my ass. Oh, yeah, I had to gather my mind. And then I could um, swim back. But that's what has happened to the entire planet economically, right? We were going along, we get every once in a while we get touch bottom and still go along, but then we boom, we just fell off the side, off the deep end, and trying to get it together. Anyway, and like, the past few times that we've been together, I've been advocating not just socioeconomics, but for Black people to recognize incredible opportunities out there as resources and wealth come back online. We've got an opportunity to start carving out our own destiny, so to speak. We got an opportunity um, to uh, make some differences. Get a foothold in some areas and in some ways that we never thought were possible for us, and that can come through our ability uh, to coalesce with our resources, be unified, uh, help each other in ways that we've never thought before, right? Yeah, America needs help and everybody needs to pitch in and all that. But Black people don't have to be always so sold out and sacrificial when the bottom drops out of America, right? See, the wise men and women are looking at this economic reset and stimulations and stimulus and all this stuff, and they're like, that's opportunity. We can come out ahead, right? I hate to use that. Well, let me use this example. Scarface and Al Pacino's, right? He's Tony Montana, Scarface and shit, right? And he goes on to like his first big job. He's a criminal anyway, but he's going on his first big job, right? To get the cocaine. And he's like, it goes sour and they try to rip him off and there's killing and blood and stuff like that. And he finishes the job and this middle guy, he's like, okay, uh, he told him the job went bad or something. He says like, okay, this middle guy is like, so did you get the yayo, right? They call it yayo. And Tony Montana's like, I got the yayo and the money, right? He went into the situation, could have been a nice exchange and stuff, good for business, but the money does things. He got the yayo and the money, right? Win-win. And he's like, not only is it win-win, but now I want to meet the boss. That's what Black people got to do at this time, right? It's like, yeah, the country's reeling and hurting and all that, but Black people think. We helped out in the westward expansion way back, uh, helping to support America's westward expansion agenda. We're getting raped, murdered, imprisoned, Jim Crow. We help out in World War One. We go over there and stuff. World War Two, Korea, Vietnam, the Great Depression. The Great Depression is kind of a joke because even this time could be a joke because you got people in America so poor that kickstarts and uh, unemployment and stuff is the way of life. When my one of my grandmothers, well, both my grandmothers were alive during the Great Depression. One of my grandmothers, it did not it did not reach her. That's how poor she was. She was already scraping off the land and trying to get things going, surviving from day to day. There's, there's a Great Depression for the people who had privilege, who had, you know what I mean? That this momentary economic hiccup going on right now is no big thing, right? Um, so the wise black people can see this as opportunity, and it's okay to see it as opportunity. Trust me, white people, Hispanic people, Asian business people, wise Arabs are like, I want to be at the front of the wave when this thing starts moving economically. Again, I totally want to be that man or woman out of the part of that group that stayed calm, pulled resources, and decided to move forward. This is opportunity. Opportunity. I mean, I gotta tell you, my school is kicking up again. I got some pretty big assignments that are going to be taking up my time, but I'm seriously considering like, man, let me go to Craigslist and I want to see if there's a group investment group getting it together or something. I might be able to come up with you know, some few dollars to participate right at the ground, the floor or something, because I don't know, America's an economic engine, and the men and women tending to it are not going to let it um, fail. All right, and the whole world is not going to let it fail. Right, it's going to come back on, and it's going to be amazing. So I'm thinking about that. Before I get any further, I do want to talk about what informs us, what brings us here after now 319 times. And as a man named Dr. Claud Anderson, read a bunch of his books. I want to introduce you to three of his works, but he's got plenty of material out here, and you can find them on YouTube. One, A Black History Reader, 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask. Black Labor, White Wealth, Search for Power and Economic Justice, and Powernomics. Dr. Anderson's national plan to empower Black America. You can find Dr. Anderson here on YouTube and at powernomics.com. Behind me, you'll see the hashtag #US2 symbol. Find Black women getting together, having their community, helping one another. Check out Black Enough, BLAGGENUF, kind of a Black Facebook experience. If you got a business mind, check out Dr. Boyce Watkins at the Black Business School, theblackbusinessschool.com. And if you can't find your flavor and on this worldwide super duper web, do what I did, start your own little blog, post, email, whatever, and see how far it goes. Chime in, unburden yourself. It doesn't have to be racism. You can bake cookies. do woodwork. And finally, we get into what I call story time, although we've gone through this book, but we may revisit it before I finish my 365-day commitment. All right, a little bit of review today because we've been talking intensely about the socioeconomic thing, which is highly relevant in light of the status of the virus and the economic condition, orientation of the United States and the world at large. The United States, you got a bunch of economies that we work with one another. China, Russia, the oil in the Middle East, although our president lately, he's been saying we're one of the biggest oil producers, although I don't know if that matters as long as electric cars are still, that idea is still gaining momentum. So, I mean, the country's moving away from fossil fuel and fossil fuel dependency anyway. Um, so it doesn't matter, but there's still Saudi Arabia and all that. And we need to have there's a military piece, especially tied to resources in the Middle East, that we're not going to let go of that all too soon, especially in light of 9/11. Europe, of course, and how things are going. It's interesting. Our present administration is led by a businessman. He's not a politician. He's a businessman. So um, the character, the orientation of the country has just been so um, different. So not political. It's been business. You see, very different ideas going on there. So he's very sensitive to these things. And, some of the decisions he's made are business decisions. Dissolving aspects of offices, organizations that could have seen this emergency and mitigated some of the pushback from that. But like one of my favorite guys on CNN, I know I've been talking bad a little bit about CNN, but it's still my go-to place for news. He's trying to encourage us to go look forward. Cuomo, yeah, that Cuomo guy is a good guy, heavy duty Catholic, but he's a good guy. But he wants us to, in his interviews, he'll be interviewing someone, and they'll reflect on what the president did in the past or some past oversight or mistake, and Cuomo will be like, okay, let's look ahead. Let's look at the future of what that happened with what you want to do. What happened. Let's look forward and see if we can reduce the effects of that in looking forward. So I like him. I like them all. I like them all. So anyway, the machine's going to turn on. It's going to get running again. It's not going to run exactly the same as it was before, right? You're just going to recover, but through some serious learning experiences. I believe there's going to be some upgrades in government. I'm going to see some changes. It's not going to be as it was before. Hence, blacks working in concert socioeconomically, because trust me, I've said it more. I'm going to keep saying it until you believe it. Whites, Asians, Hispanics, a lot of people are see this as an opportunity and are going to respond accordingly. And blacks have the same opportunity. The whole thing's leaving. It's for the first time in a long time, maybe ever in America. We are even, nice even playing field where everybody starts the same. If you remember your history, there was like land giveaway in the West, land that blacks were not allowed to own. When there was westward expansion, we helped clean out some of the Native Americans. But it's interesting that white control did not allow for black land ownership, and you don't even have to go far to look for the proof. Look at every black and white show, television show, movie. You just don't see black land ownership. The only thing that pops into my mind is what's that? The Quinn medicine woman, and the blacksmith was a black guy. So he had a business stuff, and that's very rare. It's not the norm by any means. Black people are prevented from westward owning land. The whole thing would look so much different. But anyway, I digress. When they had it, they would line up. These people are looking at vast tracts of westward land, right? And the government's just giving it away. The government wants this space populated. And it's just a race. Just race out there and stake off your space, and it's yours. And greedy people fight. And they had their stuff with it. But that's what we're looking at right now in America and around the world. Boom. Brand new reset. Because a lot of places folded up, and people want cash. This is opportunities for partnerships, new business. It's almost like a brand new colonialization going on, and wow, like I know this all in my head. I see it. I know other groups, and hopefully, a bunch of black folks are looking at this America as a big, juicy, a medium grilled steak. Yeah, just tender enough, a little red on the inside, a little good marbling. Oh, well, I'm hungry just thinking about that. But a land opportunity now, it's level, it's even. Um, we're here in this project talking about racism and all this stuff, but a lot of that's is reduced as quiet, and racism looks it's a little different now. Anyway, there's more opportunity for black people to take advantage of that, have some of that, get down with some of that, and they really need to appreciate what's going on and the opportunities that are abounding right now. Past few episodes, we talked about this idea of black socioeconomics as a team, right? This is the time to do something outrageous and risky, and stick with it and see it through. So we talked a bit about the history, understanding the origins of America, race-based, right? White Europeans came over, constructed all the things around to keeping themselves secure, keeping themselves prosperous, stealing labor from black people in Africa stealing land from Native Americans. They created their own whole new, well, not, I won't say whole new, because they were rejecting a system that they then employed in their own space. Never, always remember that. I try to talk a little bit about getting black people out of denial that we're living in the appearance of freedom, inclusion, and stuff, when we really do not. Whites are still pulling the strings, making sure they stay as a group at a certain level in the land, and that blacks are always trying to reach or create. You get your occasional outliers that make the big leap if they're entertainers or something like that, not much with a business or stuff like that. But sports and entertainment, you always see black men and women taking a big leap into a white normalcy in America. But don't mistake that for thinking that blacks in general are enjoying a whole lot of freedom. Blacks, uh, what's one of my mantras? Self-determination. If you're not, if you don't choose when you wake up, where you go, how you travel, how you get your money, if you're not in control of that, then you're living an aspect of slavery. I live an aspect of slavery because I don't choose where I'm going, how my money's spent, how I get it. It's all somebody else I got to work with to make that happen. America as the crucible for white socioeconomics, that's the model. We can live on that. We can look at that, glean a whole lot of lessons from that, employ it in our own group, and make our own noise, society, community, if you will. We're kind of, hopefully, we're past those days where the communities get sacked and the black people doing well are getting lynched and robbed and raped because white people are jealous of that. Historically, we've got plenty of evidence from that. We got Tulsa, portions of Washington, D.C., portions of Chicago, Rosewood, plenty of evidence of jealous whites making up some reason to sack successful black communities. But we can still learn a lot from how white people are successful, stay successful in their space. We can take cues from other people too, Asians, Hispanics, Arabs, the way they come, settle in a space, and just bridge out from there, keeping their group unity and loyalty around their common language, heritage, origin, right? Those are very powerful incentives to maintain the group in a certain way. And I'll finish. Dr. Anderson gave us three or 4 points, which we talked about last time. I'm just going to breeze through them here. Think about blacks, think about themselves as a nation within a nation, which is very true. We don't know Africa without black people. There's just all that's left is the color of our skin. Everything else has been absorbed, assimilated into white Western culture. Try to resist consuming products from other groups. Blacks just don't manufacture a whole lot of stuff, but that's one thing we could do is to get our manufacturing, our creation of products and services outside of sports and entertainment going. Take control of some black enterprises. We should be controlling all of black hair and whatever music and the things we create. Our creativity should be under our banner, our roof. Um, and like I said, just to finish, this time with this virus, get a socioeconomic pull going and really raise some economic hell in the land, because this is opportunity going on right now. Thanks for hanging out with me. This is episode 319, and we'll see you soon. See what we're going to get into next time. Bye bye.